Talk to me.
So the Smart Money Blueprint, as of 2 weeks ago, has become the official exclusive education component that has been, we've inked the contract with the National Association of Mortgage Brokers that anyone in mortgage lending who wants to learn how to get into private lending, they will learn through the Smart Money Blueprint as the exclusive education platform and the private money broker network as the exclusive platform to introduce them to the private money industry. And that contract was inked 2 weeks ago, and we are now speaking at their national conference as their official conduit from conventional lending to private lending. And that's what we're talking about today. Major win.
That is a huge win, Adonis Lockett. And nice way to wrap us up here and allow me to introduce you. So, guys, I have had the pleasure of, one, I met Adonis Lockett at the Five-Star Conference in Dallas. Man, I want to say it was probably around 4 years ago. And since then, we've had the opportunity to do business together, investments together, build a friendship as he's moved here to Houston and spent some time on the ranch and stuff with me. But this is such a unique character and stuff on this side of things. You may not look just realize this by looking at it, but this guy is an electrical engineer by trade, right? He has a Six Sigma green belt, and he is what is it? Engineering, lean engineering certified. I don't even know what that means. I just know it's on his resume and stuff. He was an engineer for NASA. He was a test engineer for Caterpillar, right? And so he comes from this very operative mindset of everything has to work, right? So I'm giving you this background so you can see how he puts these tools and systems together, right? And then I'm going to let him tell his story here in a second. But then he's built a national real estate brokerage. He is the founder and principal of LNH Lending at this point in time. But more importantly, this guy has done a lot in real estate with his engineering mind at this point in time. He has flipped over 130 homes. He has wholesaled over 300 homes. He has owned over 70 rental properties, purchased 3 apartment complexes, and participated in over 15,000 private money loans since he's kind of transitioned this. So if everybody could please give a warm welcome to the Adonis Lockett. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, sir. Hello, sir.
So I might have butchered some of those certifications. You've had some really big words and stuff over there. I was like, I'm not even going to know. I don't even know what that means. But man, so that is a small little background on you. Give everybody else a little bit of background before we actually jump in and we start adding some value of how we help people grow here.
Sure. So my degree is electrical mechanical engineering as a dual degree major. I started out in corporate America working for NASA, for Boeing, for Lockheed Martin, doing everything aerospace. And then one night I was at home and I got caught with the 2 a.m. infomercial. I'm a out of work recycle, junksman, and I make millions of dollars in real estate. And I was like, man, if this dude with no education can do real estate, so can I. So I left corporate I jumped into real estate in 2010, left corporate in 2011, launched my real estate investment company. Since then, opened 11 offices in 9 states. My company is officially a real estate brokerage, a mortgage brokerage, a property management company, wholesale company, holding company, flip company. I own a private equity fund. I am a 506c registered debt fund, so I'm SEC registered with my equity fund. I'm a private money lender. I created a real estate tech company, and I created a real estate education company called the Smart Money Blueprint. I've personally flipped 134 houses to date, wholesale a little over 300 in my career, owned 70 something rental properties, 3 apartment complexes, and again, have personally sat and evaluated over 15,000 private money loans in my professional career. So when I say that I am Mr. Real Estate Investing, I mean that in the purest form of the word, not studied. I've been in the weeds of every one of those strategies. I was the property manager for all my rentals at one point. there's not a seat in the real estate investing business and any of my businesses that I have not sat in, built, and pretty much mastered. And the one thing that I've learned was that when I got into the money business, that the money business made more than all my offices and all my business units combined. So that's when I was like, that's when I really understood the concept in real estate. Money is not in real estate. The money is actually in the money. So that's where we made the centerpiece of our entire operation, the money.
Beautiful. And congratulations on all of your success in the last 15 years in real estate at this point in time. And so, how are we going to add value to everybody here today, right? Like we have 60 some of the top agents, team leaders, etc., from across the country. How are we going to add value to them? What are we going to speak on today?
So today I want to tell every real estate agent on this call how getting into the investment side of real estate is going to skyrocket your business. Essentially, I'm going to introduce the concept to, how getting into the private money lending side of the business will triple, quadruple, 10x your business, create more revenue verticals, and allow you to operate nationwide with nothing more than phone calls and emails. And I'm gonna do that in 30 minutes.
All right, my man. Well, the screen is yours. The floor is yours. I might jump in if I see some questions and stuff pop up, but
Let's go.
get after it.
We'll make this interactive too. So if there's questions happening, while we're going through, if it's something I can answer quickly, I will. And then if not, we'll just hold it to the end. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Smart money blueprint is the newest strategy to enter real estate investing. And again, I want everyone to come in here with an open mind. And I do also want to make sure you guys know everything that I'm about to say on here has been confirmed to be accurate and true. And nothing here is speculation. And so, because I know I'm about to say some controversial stuff that's going to have a couple of you clenching your butt cheeks, but I'm going to explain why anything that kind of puts you on edge, why we've done our research to know that we are good to go. All right. So the Smart Money Blueprint, just a little bit about me. We already went through my background. So again, I started out in corporate, left corporate. I'm a creative, I'm a visionary. So sitting at a desk all day wasn't my thing. And the more I got into real estate, the more I wanted to get into real estate. So you guys just heard my background. And just kind of my timeline, 2011, I left real estate to start flipping houses and fix credit. Seems to be everyone's rite of passage, fixing credit as a real estate investor. Launched my real estate brokerage in 2012. Did my first wholesale deal in 2012. After launching my real estate brokerage, 2013, wholesaling became my thing. 2014, brokered my first loan, even though I had done 40, 50 flips at that time. I think in 2013, I brokered my first loan. 2014, I understood the importance of brokering loans. Late 2014, I was like, this is the way to go. 2016, built an exclusive lending department that I rolled out to all of my 8 offices at the time. 2017, became a direct lender. And 2022, launched my my equity fund in which I was raising $100 million to become a private money lender. And now in 2026 we pull in about $1.7 billion in loan volume a year, funding hundreds of millions of dollars. And the number one thing that I got from all this was that the most in-demand thing in real estate is not real estate. The most in-demand thing is money. And there's nothing easier to sell on this planet other than money and attention. And I like selling money more than I do attention. So that's why I centered my entire business around initially brokering money and then the private lending space. I actually made my real estate brokerage only exclusive to real estate investors. And what I learned was that if someone would have told me or someone would have told my agents or my brokers to just, even if I don't make it exclusively about investors, but create that avenue to work with investors, you get so much more business with such less effort. You'd get one customer, one real estate investor can replace 10, 15, owner occupied, I want my dream home customers. And I wish someone would have told me that earlier in the process, which is why I'm making a point to tell you guys now. So private money, for those of you who don't know, Private money, hard money, you may have heard about it. I'm sure most of you heard about it by now, but it's essentially asset-based financing. Funds are used to purchase investment properties. Rehab funds are provided for these properties. Private loans also are now 30-year loans. So landlords can do 30-year loans. There's no limit to the number of rental properties an investor can own. There are no tax returns, no W-2s, no pay stubs, no DTI requirements, no income verification. Private money loans do not show up on your credit. So the 70-something rental properties I had 70-something mortgages and not one of them showed up on my credit. So when I went to apply for anything, I was showing a $20 million net worth with 2 credit cards, because when you pull my credit, you didn't see any of the loans that I had, but on my application, you saw all the real estate that I own. So I was, I had a, my showing was that of like professional athletes, or, because just of how much of my net worth I could show, that there wasn't attached to debt that showed up on my credit. Um, the why private money is the best access to real estate investing, because it is truly the lowest barrier of entry to investing. Everyone says wholesaling. Anyone who's ever wholesaled a deal knows that that is grueling as hell. People say wholesaling is the easiest way because it's actually the cheapest. But wholesaling is probably one of the most difficult strategies, because you got to chase down properties from people who are under duress, going through foreclosures, bankruptcies, divorce, deaths. You got to go through all of these people who have an emotional attachment to their home, and you got to sort through dozens, if not hundreds of people to find the one person who wants to sell their house for vastly under market. Then you got to go find buyers, and you got to sift through tire kickers, the would-be's, the I'm more than what I say I am. You got to sort through all the BS to find your actual investor. Then you got to find the investor that actually wants to buy the property for what you want, because investors want these real estate properties for free. So by the time you marry the two, you have spoken to hundreds of people, visited dozens, if not hundreds of properties, and you did all that to make $5, $10, $15,000, and you spent weeks or even months doing it. So wholesale is a common misconception that it's the easiest, not because it's the easiest, actually to me, one of the most difficult, but it's because it's the cheapest. The best part about it, especially for those of you who are real estate agents, you do not have to change what you do day to day to get into real estate investing. What this does is creates a new revenue vertical for you and your business. It teaches you how to break into the investment side of the business. Understanding how private money works will position you and your realtor service to get in front of investors, to teach you how to find deals for them, how to be the listing agent of record. You make more money with less effort, and this can be worked nationwide with nothing more than phone calls, text messages, and emails. Private money is the ultimate way to get into real estate investing, because it teaches you how loans are structured. When you understand how the deal is structured from the money side of it, you understand how buyers buy, you understand how sellers sell, you understand how renters rent, and you understand how builders build. And when you understand the mechanics of the loan, you understand the business. And I have a very simple saying: once you understand the money, you understand the business. So I need to make sure everyone understands that real estate investing is a completely different industry than real estate. And for those of you who have, think that it's one and the same, it is not. First of all, just the lending itself. As I mentioned, there's several lenders that don't have detailed requirements, income verification, tax returns, pay stubs, no sourcing of season of money. A lot of lenders have no credit score requirements. Some lenders do no appraisals to close deals. We have capital partners that we drop a deal into their pipeline today, Friday at 10 a.m. We can have docs ready Tuesday at 10 a.m. We have capital partners that can literally review a deal in 4 hours, make a decision, and then move it over to title and start preparing docs. It is a completely different industry. And what a lot of people don't understand is that you have to talk the language to understand. You have to know the mechanics to understand. You just got to know the industry. So what private money does do is allow you to, instead of losing deals, convert them into private deals. Private money creates a second revenue vertical with the relationships you already have. So when does brokering private money apply? If you know anyone who's ever flipped a house, has an Airbnb, a rental property, new construction, has ever owned or done a commercial deal, who's doing land development or anything of the such, as long as they do not live in the property, This, as long as they do not live in the property and it is considered an investment, anyone you know can potentially be a customer in regards to brokering private money loans, right? So I want to make sure you guys understand brokering private money loans is a super simple concept. Introduce a real estate investor to a private money lender and get paid at closing/funding. So if you guys were to take an investor, introduce them to a private money lender today, and that deal funds next week, Friday, you get paid. It is that simple of a concept. But I need to make sure you understand, right? Do not confuse a simple concept for an easy business. And that's where most people make the mistake. Listen, I know a bunch of lenders. I've referred people to lenders for years. How hard could it be? I'll answer that question with this one sentence. When you're in private lending, this is a very common statement you will hear. So, hey, I got an investor. Here's the deal he wants to do. Can you tell me the terms? Absolutely. The initial LTV and back-end LTV of ARV is dependent upon the borrower's SREO, which also drives LTC, especially for GUC deals. If you don't understand that sentence 100%, you do not understand private sector. I want to take a moment and repeat that statement. If you do not understand this sentence 100%, you are not ready to talk to an investor or a lender about private money loans. Because essentially what I just said is probably one of the most common rudimentary terms that comes up in a conversation with an investor and with the lender. So I want to make sure you guys understand real estate investing and real estate are two very different industries. And it only takes someone about 30 seconds to flush out whether you know what you're talking about or not. And when you don't know what you're talking about and you're dealing with investors who have a $10,000 non-refundable earnest deposit that they got to close on in 14 days or they lose their money, a lot of times they're not going to take their chance with you figuring it out as you go when their money and their reputation is on the line, right? So big thing, do not confuse a simple concept for an easy business, because in the private sector, mentality is different in private lending and in the real estate space. In our space, experience is king, not credit. Relationships rule this industry, and in the real estate space, everyone knows each other and does business with each other. And almost every real estate investor is a phone call or two away from verifying if they are legitimate or not. And I can literally get a customer in North Carolina and in California, and in 2 phone calls validate if they've done the deals that they've done, if they've performed, if they flopped. Literally in 2 phone calls in about 30 minutes, I can qualify and get the backstory of any real estate investor. This space is very small, it's very incestuous, and relationships are king in the real estate investing industry, right? So let me pause. I made a comment that a lot of people kind of really scoff at. I said I made more money than all 11 offices and all business units combined with this one division. So I am on stage explaining how this is the easiest way to make money. This is blah, 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 blah. And then someone from the crowd said, bullshit, show me. And I said, okay, hold my beer. So this is a HUD that we did. This is from last summer, right? This is a deal in Frisco, Texas. The loan amount is $3.7 million. Here's what's happening. The borrower did, for whatever reason, the lender, they were going through a conventional loan. The lender said, no, we're not going to do the deal for whatever reason. The borrower called and said, Adonis, we're about to lose this deal. The bank said no, and I know that you do private. Can you get this deal done? Say, all right, that's fine. Put the borrower on the phone. Got on the phone, spoke to the borrower. It was a 22-minute conversation, right? So when we closed the deal, we charged the borrower $102,000. We charged the borrower 3 points on a $3.7 million deal. Now, your first question is, who the hell on earth would pay 3 points to close a new construction deal? If you look at line item 809, payment escrow holdback for L&H Capital, why we charged this borrower 3 points was because we made it where when they buy this new construction deal for $3.7 million, they're not going to make a mortgage payment for 2 years. So they're going to save $534,000 of mortgage payments they do not have to make out of pocket, because we're rolling in all mortgage payments. And for that, we're going to charge them a premium. the borrower agreed sweepingly. Now, the crazy part about it was that we also made money on the yield spread, which that is something that is available for people to get into this space. But it took us 17 days to fund this deal. And the agent who referred us we paid them 1 point on the referral fee. Now, first question is, Adonis, you know that's illegal. Real estate agents cannot get paid for referring people to lenders. In the conventional space, absolutely true. In the private sector, 100% false. The reason why we can pay referrals to real estate agents in the private sector is because we are not loaning money to homeowners and we are not loaning money to consumers. We are loaning money to businesses. So our borrower is the business, not the individual, which makes this a business loan. We're loaning money to a business buying an investment property, which means that this is not owner occupied, which means that none of the homestead or the owner occupied laws apply. So we are doing a business purpose loan to a company doing an investment deal, which makes it the textbook definition of business purpose. So RESPA doesn't apply. The owner occupied requirements doesn't apply because it's a business buying an investment. So as a business purpose loan, we can not only pay referrals, we can actually pay agents referrals on the HUD. And believe it or not, how I inked the agreement with the National Association of Mortgage Brokers, because they started out saying the same thing. They took me all the way to the head of their compliance of the National Association. And when they saw that what I just said was an actual statement, they immediately said, we need you to teach this to our entire organization. We want to blah, blah, blah. And that's actually how I inked that agreement. So what I've been teaching real estate agents is that the same thing you've been doing your whole career, introducing your borrowers to the lenders. In the private sector, you get paid. And not only can you get paid, you can get paid on the HUD if you desire. This agent didn't want the borrower to know that they were getting paid for the referral, and which is fine by us. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to get paid on the HUD, you could. So this agent made $37,000 off of a 22-minute phone conversation 17 days after that conversation happened. All of this is taught in the Smart Money Blueprint. We teach agents how to initiate, evaluate, and broker private money loans. A step-by-step process, a step-by-step walkthrough of every aspect of the process. You get on-demand education. You get daily calls twice a day that is a support call, how to review scenarios. There's a community of super experienced and brand new people and everyone in between that help on these calls every day. You get direct access to private money lenders nationwide of every type. And you actually will have other agents teaching you how to make money doing this every day, right? Larry is a prime example. Larry is helping people find their dream home and then conversely will help someone, fund a $5 million fix and flip deal. So there are agents that are exercising this and not having to shave back what they're doing on the consumer side of the business, but are building an entire sweeping business on the investment side. And once you start working real estate investors with the homeowners, and then you add the fact that you can get paid by introducing these people to private money lenders who can close a deal in 72 hours, in 5 days, in 10 days, that just explodes your real estate business as a whole. So why would you want to get into private money as a real estate agent? Number one, because you learned the real estate investing business. Just like I said, if you didn't understand that sentence, you do not understand real estate investing. And when a real estate investor asks you, hey, I'm new to the business. Hey, investor, I want you to talk to the lender. Perfect. What's their LTV? What? Oh, what's their LTC? What? They ask you two questions you don't know how to answer, you lost them. So the first thing we want agents to do is understand the real estate investing business. Then what we're going to do is show you how to find deals for these investors. Mind you, an investor purchases properties based on the availability of their money, not their cash, but the loans that they're getting. So if you have a lender that is funding 100% of purchase and rehab, they're going to be much more aggressive in their price points and their volume. If you have lenders that are making them put 10, 15% down, then they're going to be very careful about how they buy. When you understand how they're getting their loans, you understand how to source their deals. And when you understand how to source their deals and you flip an investor a deal one time, Every time you call, they'll pick up the phone. They'll start calling you saying, hey, listen, I'm about to wrap up this deal. I need another one. What do you got for me? So not only can you be the agent of record finding their deal, you can also be the person referring them to the lender that you know can close that deal, and you're getting paid twice for one transaction. But then we show you how to position yourself to be the listing agent of record for said investment property. So not only are we going to say, hey, listen, here's how you make money introducing the investor to the lender, how you find the deal. Here's what you need to do to make sure that you get the listing. So now you have one customer that pays you 3 paychecks for one set of actions, right? Then additionally, you can now start just introducing investors to lenders, getting paid whether you're involved with the deal or not. So whether you're doing this locally, you can pick up the phone. Hey, I got a cousin that's flipping houses in Charlotte, and I want to introduce them to a lender that's killing the Charlotte market. Them two connect. A week or two later, when that deal closes, you get paid. You can literally create a revenue vertical introducing borrowers to lenders, and every single one of you on this call has done that at least once or have been doing it your whole career. And I can guarantee if you've introduced them to a conventional lenders, you have not received one penny. In our space, you can literally get paid on every deal, and you can get paid very aggressively with such little effort if you do it properly. So you learn the real estate side of the business, learn the terms and acronyms, the definitions, the lending team roles, the types of loans, and these investors' strategies. When you understand the mechanics of these loans, when you understand what these investor strategies are, you learn how to source deals for them. You learn how to position yourself to make sure that they're going to be selling, but they're only selling at the highest market rate with your feedback. You learn how to produce the lenders that best suit their strategies. This is how, by learning the money side of the business, how you will explode your volume accordingly. The Smart Money Blueprint was built categorically for real estate agents and real estate brokers, right? Because you can leverage customers from previous relationships. Anyone doing investment properties is potentially your customer. You can convert people in your network or the extended network. You literally get paid for doing what you do as an agent every single day. But the best part is you do it without ever walking houses, negotiating contracts, not fighting inspection reports. You can literally pick up the phone, make a call, facilitate an introduction, and get paid as many times as you can do it, is as many times as you can get paid. And you can never leave your house and make more money just doing introductions than you would doing dozens of deals as an agent. So the different loan programs that apply, just so you guys understand how vast the private sector is. Bridge loans, right? These are for people who just need a loan that doesn't need rehab. Bridge loans are for 6 to 36 months. Fix and flip, exactly what it sounds like. Someone's buying a house or refinancing a house, need rehab money so they can sell it for a higher price later on. Rental properties, if you know rental owners, tell them to refinance into a DSCR rental loan. It does not show up on their credit. And do you know the requirements for someone to qualify for a rental property? There are pretty much 2 primary requirements. They got to have a 660 credit score or better, and the property must make 20% more in rental income than their PITI payment. If they meet those 2 requirements, they qualify for a DSCR rental loan, and this rental loan does not show up on their credit. There is no cap to the number of properties that they can do, so they can literally refinance out of any conventional loans that they have for rental properties, be removed from their credit, and they can do this 25, 50, 100 times if they like. Excuse me. Now, here's another kicker so you guys know. The private sector rental loans interest rates are literally 1% higher than conventional rates. So if conventional rates is at 5%, the interest rate for a private loan, a 30-year private loan, will be like 6.1875 or 6.15. It's literally about 1 1/8 higher than conventional rates. So we're not talking about where, conventional rates are 5% and then the private sector is 8%. We're talking about barely 1% more than what conventional rates are. So it's not a hard sell to get someone to move out of conventional loans into the private sector because the rates are very close, but the requirements are extensively less. No bank, no DTI, no W-2s, no pay stubs, no income verification, none of that good stuff, right? Anyone who's doing conversions, converting duplexes, single families, apartments to or whole office buildings to apartments, anyone doing new construction, anyone doing land development, anyone doing any of these things. When someone asks me what type of loans do, I have a very simple response. As long as you don't live in it and it's attached to the earth, I can fund it. Right. So as long as they do not live in it and it is affixed to the earth, we have a loan program for it in this program. The best thing about it is that you guys don't even realize how many people are your potential customers. Investors themselves, of course, wholesalers. Wholesalers make money when their buyers close deals. Tell a wholesaler, hey, man, go ahead and refer these people over to my lender, right? And every time the deal closes, I'll pay you. Other real estate agents who are working with investors, general contractors, they're people who hire them are investors. Those are also the same people that can turn around and make the people that hire them their customers. Subcontractors, conventional lenders, title companies, home inspectors, insurance agents, real estate attorneys, real estate training companies, property managers, rental owners. All of these people deal or dabble with investors to some capacity. All of these people directly and their extended network is potentially your customer. So it is very simple to find a resource or a source for someone who needs money. And I will tell you, you will never have to convince someone to have more options for money. Money is not one of the easiest things to sell. It is literally the easiest thing to sell to a real estate investor because all you have to do is say, I'm a private money lender. And then they'll start, well, what are your terms or what's your leverage or what's your interest rate? And what you should be hearing is customer, 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 right? So just think like, what if every investor, real estate agent, every network that you're in, every extended network that you're in has someone saying, I know the person who got the best private money plug, and that best private money plug is you. I assure you, when you start putting it out there, even modestly, it doesn't take long for that to become a thing. You stop chasing customers, customers start finding you, right? But the number one thing that everyone new to the business does wrong is you guys pitch, when I say you guys, not you specifically, but newer people pitch loan products instead of offer solutions, right? Most people, when they get into the space, says, hey, investor, I got this lender that will do, 100% purchase on your flips, and they'll do this rate and this fee. And the borrower says, well, I do new construction, right? So whatever you just pitch, you're so excited about, you just sold a borrower a cake who is looking for a wheel for his car. You just sold them something they don't need. And what a lot of people don't understand is that in the private sector, in the investment side of the business, these people don't want terms, they want solutions. They don't want rate, they want growth models. So what we're going to teach you guys to do when you come on board is don't lead with what you can do, ask questions to understand the investor's model, offer the right solution to secure their confidence, and that's how you earn their business. What most people do is they go out, meet a lender, say, all right, I'll find an investor. We got this and this and this. And then you'll come in, man, this private money lender charges 0.5 point, 8%. I'm going to kill it. And then I will come, have a same 30-minute conversation with the investor, charge them 2 points, 12%, and I will land that business over you every single time. Because you are pitching a transaction and I am pitching a relationship and a solution to grow their business. We are not having the same conversation, and guys like me will run circles around you, and you'll keep pitching loan products, you'll keep losing the customer, and then you're going to burn out because you're like, this stuff doesn't work. And what you haven't realized is that our space cares about what can you do, what have you done for me lately, what can you do for me now, and pitching me the cheapest is not always better, and most people don't understand that. What you're going to learn is how to ask what's most important to the investor, qualify the right solution, and then offer a solution that helps grow their business, not whatever gives them the cheapest money. I guarantee you, no matter how many times I say that, everyone's going to walk out of here and try to find the cheapest lender in fees and rates so that you can add your fee, and you're going to go and say, well, this lender down the road can do it for 1 point. You're charging 2, not even understanding that we got a borrower who's going to save $500,000 by not making mortgage payments. So while you're trying to save him $30,000 at closing, just save them $500,000 in his project. We are not having the same conversation. And This is what you learn what to do and how to do properly from day one. And that's what most people don't understand coming into our space. It's not just cheap money, it's the best solution. Okay. So the growth plan is super simple. First thing we do is establish your business. As a real estate agent, are you going to work with investors who are doing high volume rentals, luxury builds, luxury flips, developers, right? What is your model? Hey, I am Tim and I'm the real estate agent. Pause right there. If you're a real estate agent, you can't be talking to me about my funding solutions when all you do is sell your dream home. I went to your website, you sell dream homes. I'm trying to build a luxury flip. We're not having the same conversation. So first thing we do is help you establish your business and then build a customized plan of action specific to you, right? Where are you located? Who's your audience? Who you have direct access to? Are you an in-person or online person? We're going to build out what works best for you. And then we're going to create your process and lead capture system. How are you putting this information out there to bring customers in? Let's make sure that you know what your market is doing and the markets that you're doing, right? So in Florida, Airbnb is a big thing. Why would you go out there selling rental loans in an Airbnb market? Make sure you understand market research. In Dallas, for example, new construction is everything. Fix and flips, So you want to make sure that if new construction is big in the market, make that a very strong product you have, as opposed to selling someone fix and flips who focuses on new construction. We're going to connect you with the right capital partners. Everyone confuses cheap money as the best solution. That is, there is always someone willing to do it cheaper, and you get exactly what you pay for. We connect you with the right partners. Then we show you how to go about mastering your pitch. Like I just said, you go in there excited about 8% and a half a point. I go in there at 2%, 2 points to 12%, and I will land your customer 9.5 out of 10 times every single time. So we make sure that you're clear about what you're saying, who you're saying it to make sure you land the business. Then we show you how to execute on contacting your customers. In our space, you win the person in the introduction, you land the business in the follow-up. And as real estate agents, you guys know that this is a pipeline business, right? Then we'll show you how, once you get your footings and some traction, how to expand the business, fine-tune your process, implement processes and automations, and then we show you how to grow, how to make this thing where you're talking to 50 people, deals are coming in left and right, you have automation in place, the right resources, and you can literally start handling people that are pushing you investment, want you to find investment deals, refer me over to this lender that does what. We show you how to build all of that out. The concepts are very simple. First thing you need to do, you need to get educated, right? We need to make sure you get education, and then you need to partner with dedicated advisors that show you what to do. I promise you, here's my problem with talking to the yous of the world. I'm talking now, I'm speaking specifically to you on this call. The yous of the world are really good at what you're doing. Some of you are killing it. Some of you are top producers. And the problem is that because you're a top producer as a real estate agent, you believe that you're going to transition into a new industry, a new concept, and you're going to be a top producer, because how hard can it be? I've done this before. I've been doing it for 20 years. I am killing the game. All I got to do is learn a few terminologies, couple abbreviations, and now I'm rocking and rolling. And that right there is the number one downfall for everyone who's coming into a space that they're brand new to, is that you coming in with this confidence that is all but false confidence, because no matter how good you are in what you're doing, you're still going to be new to this space. And I can assure you that some of you are hearing some of these concepts, philosophies, and strategies for the first time, even though you've been in the business 10, 15, 20 years. So the problem with the use of the world is that you're so good at what you're doing, you don't believe that there's going to be a long learning curve. Let dedicated advisors help take off that learning curve and show you what to do right the first time. I see a hand raised. Larry, go for it.
Yes. So I just want to give you a caution here. We got about 8 minutes left, and
I'm
I
done
have
in 3.
people like, hey, do I need a license? Like I'm interested. I want to learn more. What's next? So I just wanted to give you a heads up on time.
We're done on 3. We're done in the next 3 minutes.
Okay.
Daily calls, workshops, and then we'll show you how to hit the ground running in the first 30 days. Our resources are vast. Online community, a 30-day step-by-step guide how to get started, education volumes, full content library, broker toolkits to show you all the templates, marketing, pitches, and scripts, all that you need, dedicated account executives, daily strategy calls, weekly workshops, full day trainings monthly. You get access to a loan origination software. If you think that you're going to handle 15, 20 customers on a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, you can, but it's painful. 2-day workshops, in-person masterminds, and then we'll actually do calls with potential customers in real time with you in one-on-one and in group trainings. You get a substantial support system. You do not get here's a script, here's some videos, go out and do it. You get support every day. You get access to exclusive private money loan officers that help land your calls with you in real time. Frequently asked questions. Can I legally get paid for referring investors to private money lenders? I just explained extensively. Yes, you can. Because, again, you're loaning money. You're not loaning money, but you're facilitating a loan from a business to a business for an investment property. Business purpose loan, RESPA does not apply. Does my state require a license to broker private money or hard money loans? Only about a handful of states require licenses: California, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Utah. But we do have relationships and partnerships that allow you to do loans in those states with connecting with the right people. How do I know what lenders to broker to, and how do I find them? We show you, we introduce you, we connect them, we walk you through it. How do I find investors that need private money loans, and what do I say to them? We show you how to do all of that as well. The number one most important thing for us is for you not to become a professional student. Learn on the deals that are going to pay you. I have a very simple challenge that I do. I'll show you how to get 5 loans in your first 5 days that you're out in the field. And all you got to do, 5 simple steps, 5 loans in 5 days. And the deals that you're learning from are going to be the deals that you get paid on, right? So why private money for real estate agents? Because you learn the real estate investing business. You learn how to find deals for investors. You learn how to be the listing agent for these investment properties. And you learn how to create a revenue vertical brokering private money loans. I am Adonis. If you guys want to talk, scan the QR code, answer 7 questions. Let's hop on a call. I'd love to tell you how me and the team can help get you started. And if you're currently in the space, how we can grow your business to the next level. And that is how RE agents get into real estate investing by brokering private and hard money loans. All right, let's go for questions.
Yes. So that was a lot, guys. But here's the thing. It is a new industry, right? Like, we in the REO space work so much with investors, right? This has been something that has been just kind of a natural fit for REO agents. A lot of you guys work in big Airbnb markets, stuff like that. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities for you guys to leverage this. And this is where Adonis and the Smart Money Blueprint has really kind of put this entire plan and stuff together. So with that being said, questions, comments, concerns for Adonis at this point in time?
I have a question. This is Jamie from Miami.
Yes, sir.
I had a friend many years ago. He got hard money, and then it was for himself, like he couldn't get refinancing. So is it still the same situation where, if you miss, they can basically take over the property as part of the agreement?
So that's a really big misconception. Traditionally, the hard money was, I'll give you a loan if you don't pay me back, and come by with a crowbar, breaking your legs, and I'm taking the house tomorrow. Basically, people, so now the industry is more institutionalized. These lenders don't want to own properties, they want to loan money. So there's been a big shift, and you'll notice, you've heard me say private money infinitely more than hard money. The industry is actually making it a point to rebrand hard money into private money to get rid of that old school hard money stigma. So, I got a borrower that's been late every single month, for the last 6 months. The lender does not want to foreclose. He's trailing 2-3 months of payments. They're like, man, just get out the loan. The loans are structured more to be successful for the borrower, not for them to take over the property. So it's more evolved into, let's make money turning dollars as opposed to owning houses.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sir, more questions?
Adonis, us as real estate agents, we all get bombarded on a daily basis from investors that'll text us and say, hey, do you got a fix and flip available? How can this be leveraged into a lot of those low-level investors that might have a high-end borrower on the back end?
So,
because I'm sure most of what we're dealing with are just like acquisition people that are hired by the bigger guy in the background.
Rephrase that statement.
So I get texts every day, from random people claiming to be an investor saying, hey, do you have any distressed properties or fix and flip properties available for us?
Right.
In most cases, that person who is texting or calling me is an acquisition person that's hired by somebody to
Oh,
go out
like a New
and
Western
find
or Net
deals.
Worth type of thing.
How can we leverage this whole thing into trying to get into the bigger side of that on who's actually in the background buying and acquiring these properties and doing the true fix and flip?
So I do two things. So one, my first question is, hey, listen, if I start flip you deals, I like the opportunity to have my lender quote you terms. All right. So first thing is like if I'm gonna be finding you deals, I need to make sure that if my name's attached to it, you can perform. So would you be okay connecting with my lender, right? So this way, when a deal comes in that I'm producing to you, I know that my lender has given it the green light, or you're good to get qualified with my lender, even if you have money or money sources. So what that does, that allows me to put this borrower into my lender's pipeline. So now, even if they connect down the road, I'm still attached to the deal to get paid. So, and that, again, that's an agreement I've made with my lender in advance, right? That's the first thing. Second thing I do is I'll tell them to send me their proof of funds letter. If I'm gonna be scraping the web and making phone calls, I need to know that you're qualified. So send me your proof of funds from the current lender you work with. Send me your cash thing, because usually the proof of funds letter will come from the New Western or the net worths of the world or whatever, Myers Home Buyers, whoever it is. You'll actually see that their proof of funds is coming from the actual company that they're sending these bird dogs out for. So I position myself where they get dropped into my lender's funnel. So any event that they down the road do a deal, I still get paid. But then two, I source where their proof of funds is coming from to see, is it just a wholesaler company that's going to double pump the deal? Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. Sir, give me more. And guys, scan the QR code if you're interested in scheduling a meeting. Because again, I would love to be able to talk to your specific situation. But let's go. Keep the questions rolling.
Oh, so how much you need to get into this biz? I mean, to your
So
program. To your program.
So right now, I mean, we have, if you just want to just join the community, we have the pricing down from, $79 a month just to join the community and dial into support calls. You want to just get the education, it's, we have 2,500 up to 15,000, depending on how much support that you want. So the 15,000 program, we build your entire business for you: website, CRMs, your marketing campaigns, your lending software. We put your whole scripts together. You literally, it's business in a box. You get dedicated advisors that's going to partner with you until you close 10 deals. We offer financing for that. And then as you step down, just more services just get removed based on your financial situation. So 10, 15,000, 10,000, 5,000, 2,500, or $79 a month. So scan the QR code. We can hop on a quick 15-minute call. I can walk you through. But what I can assure you is that when you have people walking you through the deals, I want to stress one thing to everyone. I want to make sure you guys understand this. If you are interested, you are going to pay to learn this business one way or the other. You're going to pay with money or you're going to pay with time. And I'm going to tell you, 15,000 transactions, there's no amount of money I wouldn't have spent to cut 10 years off of my 15-year journey. If someone would have sat down and be like, hey, you want me to show you how to save 10 years? Absolutely. Here's how you do it. In this business, you do 10 loans, you're going to have 10 completely different scenarios. So even if you have the exact same product, same purchase price ARV, every loan is going to have its own personality, its own challenges. And the worst thing that you can do is burn the low-hanging fruit in your network off of learning by trial and error. So you're going to pay to learn how to get into this business with your money or with your time. And I'm going to tell you, at some point, you'll burn out on your time way before you burn out on your money.
And Adonis, like with
Yes.
this, so guys, if you're interested in learning and leveraging this site, right? Like set up time with Adonis. If somebody's like, I don't really want to learn it and stuff like that, like, can I just refer over Adonis and group like investors and stuff like that to add an additional resource and stuff like that? Is that an option as well?
Absolutely. If you guys are like, listen, I appreciate this, Adonis. I'm kind of killing the game. I hear what you're saying, but honestly, once I understand whatever I'm doing, I just want to send deals over because I got investors right now. Please do that, right? So email hello@smartmoneyblueprint. Hey, Adonis, great presentation. Don't need to learn the business, but I do got loans I want to refer over to you. So when I told you that there's lenders that do no credit, no appraisals, when I say there's lenders, I meant my shop. So the companies that I work with for calls like this, if you need a deal that needs to close in 5 days, we have the exact outlet for you. No appraisals, the blah, 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 blah. All of that is part of what's in our network. So if you just want to refer loans over, feel free to do that. Matter of fact, Larry, if you could, you can send them out a link so that we know that they're attached to you. Because I want to make sure that anyone who's attached to you, you're going to get a very extended level of service being part of Larry's group. You have a dedicated team that handles this. You got the dedicated processing, loan officers, the whole nine. So Larry, if you could, everyone who attended this call, send them out the link so that when they submit a deal, we know they're part of the Larry White group and you're going to get exceptional service.
Hey, but Adonis, I want to make sure everybody, if you don't know this business, it's very important to actually learn it. Don't try to go out there and do it yourself. It's not, Adonis, me and you had some calls like rack my brain. So make sure you learn this business before you try to go out and talk about it.
I assure you, every one of you, you go out there and have the conversation, you will get flushed out in 60 seconds that you don't know what you're talking about. And again, if you did not understand that sentence that I read during this presentation, trust me when I tell you, you don't understand the business. Take the time to learn it, especially if you're going to be making phone calls to people that you know, are close to, or have relationships with. More questions? Any more?
I've got a pipeline of people who have expressed interest in purchasing secondary properties, rental properties, things in the Airbnb, VRBO space. Very new to the investment side, not sure if they can get approved, not sure that they can afford it. Obviously, these DSCR loans, sorry. The DSCR loans are a real good spot for these people to enter into this space. Being that I'm not heavily educated on this space, do you take that referral and kind of vet them and talk to them and understand what they're trying to do to find out if they would be the right person that we can go out and try to find a property for and still get approved?
It takes me 3 minutes getting on the phone with a customer. 3 minutes, I'll tell you yay or nay. And I think 3 minutes is a bit liberal.
So and you're welcome to those phone calls?
I mean, when you join the program.
Of course. Of course.
But yes, but no. And so when I made the comment, I want to make sure I didn't glaze over this part. The loan officer will do the calls with your customers in real time to make sure you land the customer in real time. It does not make sense to give you a script, say, there you go. Hey, man, here's what the conversation. You should have said this. Man, we'll get them next time. That makes no sense, right? Because all you're doing is learning by trial and error. So you're just learning how to be, you're paying to learn how to do it by trial and error, which defeats the purpose of paying. That's why the loan officer we pair you up with is like, get the customer on the phone. We're going to hash this out right now in real time. So you actually get to learn how the business works while listening to the loan officer go through qualify, disqualify, tell them why it won't work, why it will work. You learn in real time from customers that are going to actually pay you. That's what makes this concept so cool, because it's not here's a script, let us know what happens. We're going to be in the trenches with you real time, on the phone with your customers in real time.
And Miss Sean, talk to me, my friend.
So I'm listening to this, and I think it's pretty great. I'm gonna piggyback on what Jake was saying. You said that in the program that the loan officers they actually get on the phone with the clients. What's your close rate?
Oh, that's a loaded question. And what categorically? What on just all the business that comes in and with our students?
Not
students.
When it comes to like what Jake is saying, if he referred someone over there, he said the loan officer kind of takes it over and figures it out to figure out if that's actually a good person for the program or for the loan. What's your loan when it comes for your loan officers? What's their close rate? Because I know you said you have to be in the program. What's their close rate?
So here's how I would answer that, because it's a little bit of a loaded question. Here's how I answer. The first thing is we'd have the conversation with you. Hey, man, I got a customer. He has a few questions. All right, what's your credit score requirement? What's your experience requirement? What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the next time you call me, first of all, next time you call me, here's all these questions I want you to pre-screen, because getting me on the phone to answer questions for every one of your customers does you a disservice, because you're not going to learn. You're just going to have me do all the work, and you're going to be crippled because you're codependent on the loan officer's availability. So we're going to walk you through these initial calls and then show you how to pre-screen before hopping back on the phone with a loan officer. So now the next time someone has a question about credit score, experience, leverage, rates, and fees, you have your little cheat sheet. Oh, hang on, credit score, this and this and this. So now the next phone call is going to be a little bit more in depth. Hey, listen, here's the scenario. I got this. What about this? Then you're going to learn how to navigate that scenario. So by the time the deal comes in, you're going to be taught how to pre-screen. So for example, and just a borrower says, hey man, I got a 540 credit score. I've done 10 deals, but I checked yesterday, 540 credit score. Can you do this deal with me? Is that a person you're going to submit to the lender?
For me, and the reason I say it, and it's not to be challenging at all. I think the program is great. I have 3 loan officers, for example. I have one, his close rate for me is probably in the 30 to 40%. And I know that some of them have been dropped because I went to the next lender. The next lender could close those 580s and 500s, because I know
that's what,
one can do one that one other can't do. So that's why I'm
right.
asking, like, when it comes to it.
That's exactly what I was about to say. That 540, 560 credit score borrower sounds like a terrible borrower until you have the lender that doesn't run credit. So now that's a phenomenal borrower because they've done 10 deals. So this is where, when we say, that's why I said that question is loaded, because the only thing that makes a borrower not qualify is the lender that you're talking to, not the borrower themselves. So if you have a borrower with a lot of experience and terrible credit, there's a lender for them. If you got a borrower with no experience and perfect credit, there's a lender for her. There's a lender for everyone in every situation. So your close rate can be as exceptionally high as your ability to identify where their gaps are and the best lending partner to fill the void. We show you how to identify where the gaps are so that when the deal comes in, we know exactly what lender to take it to. So,
and this is also where he's created the private money broker network,
exactly.
Right? So he has all of those different solutions to those problems, right? So it's not just Adonis, like Adonis may not be the lender for his warehouse line because of certain scenarios. Like this might be the better rate, this might be the better scenario, this might be this. And so that's where, like, this is the smart money blueprint is the education side. And then there's the private money broker network side of things that helps connect all of those pieces to solve the problem. But here's the thing, guys. Like, set some time, because I got to shut this down and get to my next call and stuff here that I'm a few minutes late for. I love the interaction and stuff like that. But set up time with Adonis if you have any interest. You guys can go through different options on how to do that. I will grab a link and put it in the YouTube recording before Kathy and I post it on there as well. But if you set up a call with them prior to that, just let them know that you are on this call. This is where you found out about it and stuff like that. So that way you guys kind of get some different programs and accessibility and stuff to Adonis than just kind of the average population out there.
Scan the QR code. If you guys have any more questions, scan the QR code. Let's hop on a call. But I assure you, a lot of your questions, you're going to be blown away at how comprehensive our support system, process, staff, team members, and partners are going to be in helping you move into the side of the business.
All right. I appreciate you so much, Adonis. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
Thank you all. Appreciate the time.
Bye-bye.